What's going on YouTube? How is everyone doing today? Wanted to take some time to do a little Q&A about the build, about everything life regarding. So I have the solid axle swap and the other Duramax behind me, and basically I'm going to go through and answer all your questions today and try and give you guys a good insight on where things are going from here. Yeah, we should have a video on driving it coming out after this one. I want to make this one first. But without further ado, first question comes from Death Proof Diesel. How many hours you got into that front end? Well, so it took me about 3 months to do the swap, and 1 month I didn't work because I was away for training. So we'll say 2 months of work, working probably say on average about 20 hours a week, just give or take. So 20 times 8, 160 hours seems kind of high. Probably less than that. I'd say probably at least 100 hours, and cutting everything and just gathering parts and stuff. A lot of driving around, a lot of finding stuff. Definitely took a long time without having the right tools like a chop saw and like a water jet or something to cut out the plate. So that's something I will be interested in getting in the future. Anthony Cole, is an LBZ the way to go if you're looking for the most horsepower? This is one of the most argumentative topics, especially on this channel, because I don't support LBZs. I like LBZs a lot. I like all Duramaxes, I really do. But the LBZ pistons are junk, and they're known for breaking cranks. But I also know people who run a lot of horsepower, like the white LBZ we built has, you know, probably 650, 700 wheel horse, and it's a gnarly truck. It's 60 overs, you know, Danville turbo, slightly modified CP3, rail plug, good tunes, all that stuff, and it runs good. It hauls ass. It's definitely faster than this thing now. I mean, they're all gonna break at about 750, maybe less horsepower. So I enjoy the LLYs. You do head gaskets, they're kind of good to go. Besides the rods, but you run like a big single or something, you can really make some power without having to bend the rods or anything. Obviously, a built motor is the way to go, but you can kind of run, depending on your setup and how good the tuning is, you can kind of run about 700 wheel on any stock motor truck, really. Next is Brad_113. What brand and size coilovers are on the front end? They're Fox 2.5s, 10-inch travel coilovers. I have dual rate spring set up with 750 and 600 springs. And yeah, pretty simple, pretty remote reservoir. Hunter Boy 2407. How would you go about doing coilovers on the rear? Honestly, when I do this truck, when I do a frame off, it will get 4 links in the rear too. So it'll basically be the same setup as a front end. Panhard bar, 4-link, sway bar, and coilovers. I mean, I guess you could. Well, you get rid of the leaf springs anyway, so yeah, you'd have to 4-link it. So that's what we're going to be doing in the next year or so on this thing. Normans_racing 287. What grill and front and back bumpers are you going to put on the truck? I'm not 100% sure yet. I'd like to just do like a plain black mesh grill. I'm pretty simple with the grills. Front bumper, probably going to make custom. And depending on how it comes out or how it looks, I'd really like to do a new style like the 2016 color matched rear bumper. If not, I'll probably build a back one too. But I'm gonna like take my time and make it look not so janky like the lift kit. The Kleb, one of my buddies from back home was killing the YouTube game. You know, if you guys haven't checked out his channel, make sure to go do it. Can you fit a V8 in a Prius? Well, with this, I've learned that anything is possible. So definitely looking forward to that collab in 2019 maybe with you. You know, like to get that down. I'm sure we can think of something funny to do with this truck. The Black Rado 17, what happened to the tailgate? So that's actually a pretty funny story. Back when the truck had a 6-inch lift and mud tires, we used to go up to this place in California called Azusa Canyon, and we'd go off-roading there. And I was pulling out my buddy Tristan, who sold me the red truck, and his, I think it was the 80s Jimmy Blazer. I think I said that right. Whatever. It was the 80s Jimmy, whatever it was. And he had a hitch on his front end with a like a pintle hit, like a pintle hook or whatever. No, not pintle. A D-ring with a loop. And he had built it forever ago, and I went to yank him out, and he was really stuck. So I got kind of running start. I was on sand, and it snapped the welds that went into the hitch receiver for the D-ring, the part that holds the D-ring, and the D-ring slingshotted and smashed into my tailgate. Well, I tried in previous videos. I tried fixing that. Me, bodywork, and Bondo, and being meticulous does not go good. So it's kind of trash. I still have it, but I haven't got to getting a new one or anything. I'm looking for a new bed actually because the bed's trash. The air horn guys, have you put air horns on it yet? No, but if you're willing to sponsor, I will. I have no problem. I got 2 trucks to put air horns on if you want. So hope y'all, hook it up. BBT Customs. I know you just got the rims, but would you ever go 22? I personally think it would look even better with 22 by 12s. I'm actually planning on going 22 by 14s. If anyone is looking to buy these rims and tires, they rub on my 4-link bars, so I actually need more offset rims. They have like 400 miles on them. I am trying to, they're Hostile Striker 20 by 12s. I'm probably going to go 22 by 14 with like 40s. Probably a good setup for the future. G Money number 9. Overall, about how much has it cost you to build the solid axle swap? Also, what has been the hardest part of the job? So overall, it's probably cost me for just a solid axle swap, I'd say about like $4,000 and some change maybe. That's with buying the axle, buying the coilovers, buying all the parts, and doing all the work myself. So it's cost me about $4,000 to do it. The hardest part about it was not knowing. I didn't know how to do any of this, so really kind of the whole thing was difficult. It wasn't hard to do, but it was hard to figure out how to do things. So I asked a lot of questions. I spent a lot of times on forums trying to get to the bottom of it. 2-wheel drive Ford Ranger. Would you change anything about the D-Max? If so, what would you change? I don't know. I kind of like it. I would probably change the way I made some of the brackets for the 4-link kit. I would definitely change the bumpers and delete the chrome. And other than that, just cosmetic stuff. I would like to get rid of the rust. That's kind of a weird thing to say, but VHS Warrior 94. What's next for the build? Probably cosmetics, cleaning the truck up, really kind of taking care of it, trying to get rid of rust. I'm kind of done. Like, we need to tighten up some stuff with the solid axle swap, but I'm kind of done, working on everything for, like performance, unless something breaks. But other than that, that's kind of where we're at. Benjamin 1433, injectors on the LB7. Can your average garage wannabe mechanic handle it? Yeah, if you take your time, it's gonna take you longer. But if you're not really 100% sure what you're doing, it's gonna take you a little while. But it's not the most difficult thing. A lot of the problem with the LB7 injectors is removing stuff from above the valve covers. Keep everything clean, make sure you have the right tools, and replace your injector cups, or get new O-rings at least for them, make sure they're not cracked. The Duramax Haynes manual that I have is kind of like key. It helps me with everything I do. The dude in all black, what's your favorite out of all the Duramax? LB7, LOY, LBZ, etc. Well, I've honestly only owned LB7 LOYs. so I haven't really got to experience. I've obviously driven LBZs, I've driven LML. All based off design, even though they're having issues right now, I'd say the L5P is probably going to be one of the better of the Duramax engines, just because of the way it's designed. It was designed off like by a racing team. It's got like cathedral ported heads, you know, beehive valve springs already. It's supposed to be a pretty solid motor. I don't like LB7s because of the you know, injectors and all that stuff. I love LLYs. Obviously, I have 2 of them. And it's not just because I have 2 of them. You know, that's kind of what I got stuck with, and I bought another one because I love them so much. I think LLYs are a good platform with, like, you know, just doing head gaskets or head studs. You can really have a pretty solid motor. And LBZs are great, but I'm just not a super fan of them. But I do love the 6-speed, so it's kind of, I don't know. I love them all. I love them all. I really don't have a preference. How much low you got? I'm not really sure. The truck's pretty tall. That was the King K5. Kyle in 06, be honest, how many times have you fallen out of it? I have not actually like ate shit and fell out of it yet. I did like forget that I was up so high, and I tried like stepping out of it, and I missed my step, and I caught myself, but I almost face planted. I've definitely like almost fell getting into it too, like didn't quite get up high enough, and I almost ate shit. So it'll probably come sooner or later. DS Light Tom 1776. Do you like my I think he said LB7. I do. It's a pretty clean truck. I'm looking at it right now. I love all Duramaxes. K Giles, I think. You ever gonna put spacers on? No. I am strongly against spacers. I will get more offset rims before I ever get spacers. I think spacers are a death wish. So, not a fan of spacers, especially with a setup like this. I'm not trying to die. Seagrass 93, what made you go twins, and is the ramp up on power instant or linear? So to be honest, the reason I went twins is it was kind of a dream of mine just to say I owned a twin turbo truck. So really that's the only reason I ever bought them. I didn't care what performance gains I got from them at the time. You asked, is the ramp up on power ramp up to power instant or linear? It is. It's linear, but on a very steep slope. I guess. No, it's a pretty good power curve. It comes in smooth, and once you really start making boosts on the small turbo, like you're at like 15-20 pounds, it really comes in hard. So you go from like the amount of time it takes you to go from like 0 pounds to 20 pounds, it takes you to go from 20 to 60 pounds, and it's a pretty wild ride. So it's definitely, I mean, you can drive it reasonable too. I'm saying like, especially in the ZF6, I'm saying like shifting gears and like hammering on it. If you drive it like normal, like a normal person, and not like me, you'll definitely see a very smooth power, like a very smooth power curve with it, and the boost will stay right in, and it's very fun to drive. How hard was the ZF6 swap, and how long did it take you to find the ZF6? The ZF6 swap was probably the easiest part of this build. It took me 1 day to do, well 2 days if you count installing the clutch pedal. The clutch pedal was the hardest part. I should have, well that was a solid axle swap, but clutch pedal was definitely the hardest swap. It took me a few months to find a ZF6 that I wanted. ZF6 are out there. There's a page on Facebook called Strictly ZF6, and it definitely was pretty easy to find a lot of cracked ones, a lot of bad deals. But I stumbled across the one that I have now, which I found is the best deal, and I was the first guy to comment on his post, and he held it for me because he had about 40 other people comment on it right after me. But I made it first thanks to, I believe it was Steve Mama on that page. Really kind of hooked me up with that one. How much do you have in the solid axle swap and ZF6 swap? So I said 4K for about the solid axle swap, and I have about 6,000, I'd say, in the ZF6 swap between the trans, the clutch, you know, the pedal, all the BS that goes into it. So yeah, I'll say about 10 grand. TL Racing 08. First, what's the pinion angle at? Second, what is the measurement from the rear of the front fender well to the center of the axle? Forgot to check before it started, but was curious what yours ended up being. Honestly, that's kind of a lot for the video that I'm doing right now, but I will get that stuff to you and I'll send it to you in a personal message, just because it's a lot of information that I would have to find right now. Blackie Baldwin, who can install a hood stack for me in San Diego? I don't really know. I'll definitely, I mean, if you want to come up, dude, I'm in San Diego, so I'm sure we can figure it out. I've kind of been able to do everything, so not saying I'm the best, but we can definitely figure it out. 05 2500 HD Silverado, Pat, always one of my guys, you know. When you come back to my area to make some sweet content together, I'll actually be in home in like 2 weeks, so I am going home for 2 weeks, but I will not have any vehicles, but I'll definitely come drink a beer with you. OG Turtle, are you going to move to 40s with more offset? Do it. Yes, I told you 22x14s with 40s with probably negative 76 offset. Any more motor upgrades coming? No, this is Mason CR. If I do any more, I'm probably going to like send rods to the block. I'd like to drive the truck for a little bit, but expect maybe throwing 60 overs in the future and just seeing if we can really grenade this motor when I have money and time for a built motor. Mika and Sierra, what kind of tuning did you have to do for the ZF6 swap, and how's the power curve feel from auto to manual? Any plans for a built motor, or are you just going to keep sending it on stock internals? My buddy just popped his LV7. Gonna go all out on his motor build. Gonna be spendy. Makes me think twice about how before I send it in my LV7 now. So tuning I haven't done yet, and I'm actually gonna cover a video on that. I'll do a tuning video. You actually have to ramp up the fuel tables at the top of the tunes because there's a drop off for shifts on Allison tunes. I'm gonna have to delete a lot of like transmission codes, a lot of four-wheel drive codes. But the power curve is still there. It's still good. It comes in nicely. Like, I don't shift too fast because I'm really not trying to break the ZF6. But if you kind of like, if you drive the truck, or if you stay in the lower RPMs, you're not really getting on it too much. It drives very nicely. The power curve is good. Like, you can kind of stay in boost. If you're really getting after it though, you can get after it. Like, especially like shifting and keeping it up in the RPMs. It's pretty. It gets rowdy, especially being up that high. Definitely gets rowdy. Off-road Outlaw, what's your dream trucker car? My dream car is a 68 Camaro. I would love to do a 68 Camaro build in the future. Gas, diesel, whatever it may be. Just, I would love to have one of those, so like as a project car. I'll probably pick one up before I leave here, just because they're clean down here. My dream truck is probably what I'm building. Actually, this is my dream truck, and I'll do a video on that. It's dreams were always solid. I always wanted a solid axle swap, a ZF6 truck, and a twin turbo truck, and I just kind of slammed them all into one. So this is actually my dream truck in real life. So I've been building it slowly. And the last one, Nasty Nate. Do you want to run them? This truck is not fast anymore. It's really not. It's kind of. It's more for show than anything. I was saying, no, I will not be doing any racing anytime soon with this truck. I am building a race truck actually next for that reason. This truck is still fast. It's no joke, but it's not meant to go fast. Definitely a little sketchy, hammering on it, sways, pulls pretty hard. But, so I will not run them yet. Wait till the next build is done. That's going to be all the questions for today, guys. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. I want to do a little kind of catch up and just sit down and chit-chat. I usually don't do videos like this, so I've been kind of moving slow, trying to get things wrapped up around my house. So, as always, thank you guys for tuning in. Please hit that like button and subscribe. If you have any more questions, always drop them below. And if you guys ever need any help, my email is always down below, too. Thank you guys. I'm out of here. I'm going to get to editing. Got a lot of work to do.